The backyard of a legendary facility in drag racing is center stage for the biggest machines in motorsports. The 2023 Monster Truck Throwdown season kicks off next at Dragway 42. Welcome to a facility that is only 1 degree removed from the old Thunder Nationals tour. We are at Dragway 42 in West Salem, Ohio, in a beautiful part of the country. It's farmland, it's green, and it's a beautiful day, but we had a little scare when we rolled in today. It was raining and the track was sloppy, but Matt Looker and the crew coming out with the equipment and turning the dirt over and over, trying to get some of that moisture out of it, and much to our delight, the sun came out. It's baking the track. It's actually about a perfect racing surface right now. There's a lot of moisture in it, but it's got a lot of bite, and that should make things awesome here today for the kickoff event for the 2023 and 10th anniversary season of the Monster Truck Throwdown Series. This is one that, if it's coming to your area, you got to get out and see it. It's always a wild time. 5 of the best names in the business ready to take to this thing. Of course, Joe Sylvester, they call him the Dale Earnhardt of Monster Truck Racing, in the Bad Habit Jeep from right here in Ohio. He's going to line up alongside the DCT Power Sports crew out of Lafayette, Indiana. And our first look at the awesome Psycho Circus, driven by Mason Rife, second-generation driver. His father's out here too, helping with the ride trucks. They've got their whole team of vehicles out here as well. This one is going to be fun to watch. It's big, it's tall, and it can wheelie like no other. And for all you collectors out there, keep an eye out for those Elliott Miller signature Dirt Crew monster machines. I'm sure those will be worth something on the trade market in the near future. Stay with us as the pit party wraps up. We are going to get ready for action on the dirt straightaway out here behind Dragway 42. It's going to be an awesome afternoon. Don't go anywhere.
This Back Channel Productions program is brought to you in part by Monsters Monthly. Stay up to date with photos, videos, event info, and more at monstersmonthly.com. And by Crush This. For an inside look at the Monster Truck phenomenon, check out Crush This, a Monster Truck podcast.
There's only one place in the world you can find this much old school cool. Freedom Racing Monster Trucks. The home of Cyclops and Unnamed and Untamed. Get yourself a limited edition toy at freedomracingmt.com.
This Back Channel Productions program is brought to you in part by RPM Army, the place to get your motorsports fix.
Welcome back to the legendary Dragway 42 in West Salem, Ohio, as we get ready for the kickoff of this 10th anniversary tour for the Monster Truck Throwdown Series. And we're going to start things off, as I said earlier, with the best trick competition. All 5 of our competitors getting ready to go, and these guys for a decade now have been creating some iconic moments in the monster truck industry. And of course, this series notorious for some of the best media in the industry, especially for an independent right now, as Jack Brown rolls out of Lafayette, Indiana in Dirt Crew Dozer. Hard hit right there, and it looks like he may have done some damage already. In 1 second to try to get some two-wheel action going there. He has definitely hurt that truck. Not sure if he broke drive shaft or something in the rear end. He may have broken the pinion. See what Brown has up his sleeve right now. He may roll right off the track. I'm not sure, but you saw there when he went for that two-wheel move, there was just no drive off the rear end. It may be going in and out, which is an indication he may have damaged something down near the pinion. Maybe a rear axle, left rear possibly. It's hard to tell if that right rear is spinning or not, but he was definitely getting a lot of drive off of it on this first move. You can see right there, all four tires are spinning when he lands. It looks like he may have broken an axle on the left rear from that replay right there, and then when he comes back for this move, I'm trying to see if that right rear does appear to be spinning, so they're going to have to go back there and get that thing fixed for racing. He'll start things off with a 3, a pretty strong opening move, and not a bad way to finish it up considering. Now, brand new to us, but not a new name in monster trucks, the Wright family, Psycho Circus out of Michigan. Wheeling out across the beautiful lawn here on the backside of Dragway 42. We're in this dirt competition area. This is pulling dirt, so there is a lot of bite in this track, and thank goodness the sun came out, and it does appear to be drying this track up, but it's nice and watered. They won't have to use the water truck this afternoon, I don't think. Let's see what Mason Rife has now on the race land. Combos it up with back-to-back slap wheelies. This thing is going to quickly become one of my personal favorites. This is a fun truck to watch. Big and loud and tall and capable of just about anything you'd want for the old school and the new school monster truck fans. Again, awesome machine, and the kids absolutely love this team. The Rife family, second generation driver right there. They've sowed their oats with names like Gladiator over the years. Of course, Black Widow, which we saw come back out to run recently. It's good to see Dave and the family getting their name back out in front of the fans. And of course, this piece of equipment that's got an interesting history on it. A score of 6 to take over the lead by 3 points. Mason Rife in Psycho Circus now. Raising the bar for this man, Darren Basil out of Conroe, Texas, driving Maximus for the team out of Indiana. Looks like he's going to head all the way down to the end, swing around, and pick on something big. Basil getting some hang time there in Maximus to start off his best trick run, and I think he was hoping that it would stand straight up when he went over that concrete rail that's buried there under that little kicker on the race lane. Track is coming together, but there's still a little bit too much moisture in it to get that nice bite and pull a wheelie or a nice sky wheelie straight off the back of a ramp like he was hoping for there. But he does lay down a strong shot. Wrapped it up with a donut there. I'm not sure which parts of this run they're going to count, but a strong showing for this gentleman out of Texas driving the big Ford Raptor out of the Hoosier State for the DCT Power Sports crew. Score of 5 by 1 point. He comes up a little bit short, but an impressive showing nonetheless. Up next, the Dale Earnhardt of Monster Truck Competition, Joe Sylvester out of Canfield, Ohio in bad health. Crushing the cars. What else does he have? Huge hang time for the Jeep Gladiator out of the Buckeye State. And he rolls to a stop over there after a very hard hit. I'm not sure what happened. Hopefully he doesn't have damage. We see him doing something up in the cab. It looks like he just powered that vehicle down. Something wrong there. Hopefully it won't put him out of competition. What a pair of launches, though. Some car crush in there to get him started off. Kind of a wild sideways sky wheelie. You can see torque the sway bars a little bit, and then a huge launch off that freestyle stack. Out into the shutdown area. Score of 6, so he ties for that top spot. Joe Sylvester. So he does have it refired. He's headed back to the pit area here, and he's pointing at something. He's got something in his right hand there. It looks, okay, that is actually the support brace, the piece of tubing that holds the rear steering toggle switch. And you can see the whole toggle switch and tube and everything is broken off. Apparently on that last landing, he gripped it so hard he broke it at the weld. So now they are going to have to work hard to get back in the action, because he's definitely going to have a rough time trying to drive that truck with basically a joystick in his lap. I don't know, maybe he'll keep it that way for the afternoon. We'll wait to find out. Up next, a legendary driver in this business, Jerry Beck in the Flying Dump Truck Dirt Crew out of Lafayette, Indiana. Chassis has quite a history in this business. The original chassis that pretty much none of which is left underneath it. There was originally built by Gary Bauer and Jerry Richmond in 1993 for the 94 season. It ended up with Jay Snyder, who ran it as Screamin' Demon after Gary changed the name and sold the truck to Jay. And now with Jerry, it's got a whole new life. Talk about fearless, a sky wheelie over that big pyramid. Stalking the muddy grounds here. Let's see what, oh, he found some dust over there. So track's drying out on that end. Classic Dirt Crew sky wheelie. And hammering the Throwdown staff and camera crew with some big old clumps of mud. Look at this pair of moves from Jerry Beck in Dirt Crew. Knew he was going to have to go big to knock down those 2 6s. We knew he was going to. A pair of sky wheelies that were just second to none. This was awesome. Look at him bury the rear of the chassis in that last car. Hits hard and drives away. Those big Freightliner rear ends working for him. A score of 8 will take the top spot. So Jerry Beck starts off by winning the best trick competition. But here's where the story comes in. Joe Sylvester and the DCT Power Sports crew with the dozer machine have some work to do to get back into racing action. Will they make it? Find out when we come back. We're back in West Salem, Ohio at Dragway 42, getting ready to do what this place is famous for. Straight line drag racing, 3-jump obstacle course here side by side. Starting off the field, as you see, it'll be Maximus and Bad Habit as they roll into stage. Great crowd on hand, sitting hillside. Beautiful weather, by the way. We were worried about it coming into today as it was raining when we got here. There you see the first pairing, Maximus and Bad Habit. Dirt Crew got the bye into the semifinals by virtue of winning the best trick competition, and we'll see Psycho Circus taking on the Dirt Crew Dozer, although we don't know if Brown has gotten that truck repaired yet. Maximus, though, battling now with Bad Habit. We get word that Sylvester did not get that tube re-welded, so he's actually driving with the rear steering switch in his right hand. Now, I'm not sure if they're going to tie it up for this, since it's just straight line racing. It does not really need the rear steering. Both of them working for a living on that run. A lot of hang time in the track, and you saw Sylvester have to get back on the throttle and pick up some ground on Maximus, but there may be a problem on the big Ford in the left lane. We'll watch it again. He appears to have broken something in the rear end. Sylvester driving away from him right at the finish line, and nose down landing for Maximus. You can see when he locks up, the rear tires are locking up. The front tires were not. He's dropped the rear drive shaft, and you can see the U-joint, slip yoke, and everything still attached to the rear end, so they are going to have to get back there and rectify that problem if they have any hope of making it back in for freestyle, and I know they'd like to do that. He's had a rough year so far. We saw him in Tennessee earlier this year on Brian Wagner's All-Star Tour, and he had some rear end damage there. Now, we watch it again. See if we can see where those parts come out. He did scatter a few past the finish line. It looks like they may have actually come out when he impacted the last jump. Trying to see right there. You see him start spitting some parts, and indeed, he did actually rip that drive shaft out at some point, either right before impacting the third and final jump in the race lanes, or literally as the rear end made contact with it, maybe right before it went in the air. And fortunately, it didn't come too much further over on the nose when he lost rear-wheel drive. Now it's Psycho Circus and Dirt Crew Dozer get ready to match up here in the first round of monster truck racing. Mason Rife taking a shot here in this machine that was originally built by Jack Coburna, then ended up with the Rife family. You talk about two very interesting minds in the world of building monster truck chassis. And the Rife family made their own modifications to it. It is an awesome piece of equipment going up against one of the neatest looking trucks on the circuit, the Dirt Crew Dozer. It's all Jack Brown on this one. Rife getting a little out of shape in that left lane. So Brown will motor on into the semifinal round, where he will take on Bad Habit. We'll find out who our fast loser is in just a moment. I believe Darren Basil has the shot to the fast loser spot, but if he cannot get the truck repaired, Mason Rife will be coming back. You see Rife trying to contend with a slippery no man's land back there. He got all out of shape, and Jack Brown did not want to waste the run. He went ahead and gave it a full throttle run. I don't know if he even knew that Mason Rife was having the problems he was having in the other lane. You don't really look at your opponent. You just put your foot to it and drive your best race, as Jack Brown now sits up there on the starting line, getting ready to bring Joe Sylvester on into stage. You saw the man on the line up there, Todd Maddock, getting things off the track. There was some debris over there apparently as he goes ahead and stages these guys up. There was apparently some problem there on the starting line with either a radio or something else, and they've gotten it rectified. He's just letting Joe know that he can go ahead and come up and stage for this matchup there. Again, Joe contending with some broken parts in that cab. It's definitely made life a lot busier in the office chair of the old Bad Habit Jeep now as Dirt Crew Dozer rolls into stage. A pair of Eddie Mica designed chassis, but very different machines. What a race! Look at these guys trying to get it woed in a slick shutdown area. Brown goes all the way all the way to the retention pond down there. It's not full today, fortunately. It is every once in a while, but not today. We're going to wait to find out who got that win. It looked like maybe a little edge to the Dozer, but that was a real ebb and flow race. Twice now, Sylvester has pitched that nose down. You can see the Dozer had the lead into the second jump. Man, they were right there together. Both of them getting beaten up on that run, and then both of them having to lock it up to avoid going too far off the end of the track. And the word is Jack Brown will pick up that victory, and Sylvester will go on the trailer.
Well, coming off the line, that first hit is tricky. You got to really try to get back on the ground as fast as you can. And when I came down, I caught a little bit of a balance, and I had to pedal, and I was enough for Jack to drive around me.
Well, there you hear the story, and indeed, this is a rough track. It's a well-built track. It's a fast track, but there are places you can get yourself in trouble. A lot of elevation off that first jump. You hit it too hard, you can get in trouble. You don't hit it hard enough, it'll pitch you right into the ground. As Mason Rife comes to do battle with Jerry Beck now, who again had the bye into the semifinal round by virtue of winning that best trick competition. These guys are going to go toe-to-toe right now. The big Ford-bodied machine and the big flying dump truck in the left lane. Semi-final round, first matchup. Ready to go. Wild finish for both of those guys. Beck looked like he was in big trouble at the end. He'll be first across the line, but there is a question as to whether it was a legal run or not. Both those guys, though, were off to the left-hand side of their lane. As they head back into the pit area, we wait on the official call, and we'll get another look at it here in just a moment. But will Beck make it into the final round, or will it be Mason Rife going up against the Dirt Crew Dozer? Find out here. Let's watch it again. Keep an eye on the truck on the near side, nearest the camera over here. And Beck definitely looks like he missed the ramp proper with the front two tires. Almost got himself in big trouble. Not the worst configuration we've ever seen the dump truck in, but definitely giving the fans a thrill as he laid down a shot here in West Salem, Ohio. One more look at it from the sidelines. Take nothing away from Mason Rife. He gave it everything he had. Definitely a better run here than he had in his first round matchup, but this DCT Power Sports crew is definitely making life hard on the man out of Michigan. Stay with us. The championship race and freestyle, plus a little bit of bonus action coming your way next.
The world-famous C60 Cyclops, the infamous Dodge Carryall, unnamed and untamed. Get yourself a one-of-a-kind toy of a Mudbogger Trim Monster Truck at freedomracingmt.com.
Welcome back to West Salem, Ohio. We get ready for the championship race in the monster trucks. Right now, though, I said we had a little bonus action coming at you. Some highlights from the modified tough trucks that Elliott Miller brought out here. This guy lives closer to the track than anybody. Dwayne Lewis, one of the wildest personalities in this form of racing. He's originally out of Lodi, now lives about 3 minutes away from the track. And this truck actually runs nicer than his hauler. His hauler smokes a lot when he rolls in, and I'm not going to mention what's hanging off of the down bars on that black Ford Ranger, but he's one of the only guys I've ever seen do an honest freestyle on a monster truck track in one of these machines. Now, Jeeves Webb out of West Lafayette, Ohio in the Dent side. White Ford lined up with Dustin Jenkins out of Coshocton, Ohio, and it was a solid pair, but Jenkins would outrun the Ford on this pass. These guys matched up quite a few times here today already, and we'll show you some of the raw action over on our channel. Go check that out when we post the link. Right here, though, one of our favorites, and a guy we saw end up in the retention pond a couple years back, the first time they brought the tough trucks here. That is Shorty Ellis in Next Level. He lined up there with Jacob Duvall, another pair of Buckeyes, but it would be Shorty Ellis rolling away with the better of those two runs as they head off the track. Plenty of action for the fans with the modified rough trucks as we get ready now for the championship race in monster trucks. Dirt Crew Dozer Jack Brown coming into stage. Alongside him, kind of an upset to get here, but he survived his way here, keeping the equipment together and making legal runs, put Mason Rife into this championship race, and it's all part of the game. It's not just who's first to the finish line. You have to be straight and true on the track. There you see Todd Manick lining him up right now. Psycho Circus, the second generation driver, the big, bad, and tall Psycho Circus lined up next to the Dirt Crew Dozer. Indiana and Michigan ready to go at it in the first championship race of the Throwdown season. Boy, Rife gave it an honest shot there. Jack Brown working to get it shut down again. Gets way down off the end of the track. Still slick down there, but he will take the victory, a clear-cut win, and a legal run for the square main rail Eddie Micah chassis out of Lafayette, Indiana. One more look at the run, and look at Rife tried to beat him off the line. Honestly, it just did not happen, and Brown put the foot to it, even though I'm sure he knew he had a victory under his belt there at that point. Still giving it everything the Dozer had to take the #1 spot, and he's over there celebrating with the crowd. He'll give away, I don't know if he's going to give away some hardware there or not, but he gives a lucky fan some merch, making memories with the kids, families, and boy, just fans of all ages here. Jack Brown, a guy we're very familiar with. We've seen him in a couple different trucks over the years and always thrilling the crowds when he comes out to run. He's going to be first out in freestyle, by the way, so he's got to get back there now and make sure his truck is good, nice, and tight. And there you see a little bit of damage underneath the Psycho Circus they're taking a look at before he comes out for his freestyle run. I believe he'll be out in the #2 spot, so the last two guys to run in racing drew early spots in freestyle, which could spell trouble for them, but I do believe we are in for an awesome 5-truck freestyle right now. The word we get is they do actually have Maximus prepared, so we will see Darren Basil back out now as Dirt Crew Dozer starts off freestyle. You see, they've actually added an obstacle out here. Couple of vans they've thrown out here on the track to get these guys just a little bit more to go after. Awesome hit for Brown in the Dozer as he tries to set the bar high early. None of these guys are going to lay down on this one. They are going to hit anything and everything that gets in their way. For a 5-truck field, this is a pretty stacked lineup, and let me tell you, every one of these guys would love to say they got the first freestyle win of the season on this tour. It's always a tough field of trucks when you come in to the Throwdown series. Mangling a little more metal there, and that's something the old school fans love about this series is all the crushable obstacles out here on the track, but there's still plenty of hang time and plenty of big dirt ramps for these newer modern monsters. Just like that, Jack Brown bouncing on down into the end zone. Trying to figure out what he's got left in the dozer. Comboed it up there at the end. That was a beautiful run for Jack Brown. A solid opening statement for the man out of Indiana by way of Deltona, Florida. He's driven some of the best equipment in the business, some of the top Indy machines out there, and again, working the track hard, and one of the newest of the best right now. A lot of hang time, like I said, and he worked every obstacle on this track. He didn't leave any of the crushables for anybody else to get a first shot at, and he looked good en route to the score he will receive at the end of this. They'll have 3 scoring criteria. We'll see in just a moment here exactly what the scores were. This I love, though. Comboed into that van, smashed down the other side. A 9, a 5, and a 6 for a score of 20. Again, a strong, solid opening statement for Jack Brown. And now out rolls Psycho Circus. Carries it all the way through the grass. He's starting to run out of room as he got over here near some equipment, but he sets it down in plenty of time, and the nose falls off. This truck is much, much more than a gimmick, a very solid piece of equipment, and again, a truck built by the great Jack Coburna, now with the team built under the veteran craftsmanship of one and only Dave Reif out of Michigan, now with his second-generation drivers on this team. He's got his ride trucks here this afternoon. This is a very full, very hefty operation, and these guys are not afraid to tear up some equipment to thrill the crowd. This truck, though, again, making its way through 2 of the most inventive, creative chassis builders in this business, but he's got a problem right now. The truck shut down. Something happened. Hear him trying to refire it, and he does indeed get it back under power. A Fortress on wheels right now, the tallest machine in competition here. Got the motor placement back all the way to the rear of the chassis and up high, and that's one of the things that enables him to do those awesome wheelies, and you see that big heavy-duty wheelie bar in the back. Let's see what he's got left. That kind of killed his momentum. He's going to go ahead and take his time and line it up. I don't know that he's really worried about the score right now as much as making this thing walk and talk on those rear tires. Awesome combo for Mason Wright and Psycho Circus getting the job done. Loudest truck on the premises with those short pipes. He rolls to a stop over there. It looks like he may be having another problem or he's shutting it down. I'm not sure. He's been dealing with a couple of issues here during this run, but he's not letting it stop him. I don't think this is going to be a takeover run, but it's definitely awesome to see a driver just going for it. He'll come back over here to his wheelie ramps and line it up. Again, it looks like he may be having a steering problem right now, and that's slowing his run down. But again, he is not worried about the score. At this point, he knows he's probably out of that running, trying to get that seat time in, that all-important seat time, and give these fans some moves to remember. For the wheel stand again. And put a little scare into the cameraman over there. Mason Reif giving the fans a marathon run. One of the nicest guys and one of the meanest machines. Danny Mass going to pick up the blown nose of the clown right now. Watch this thing again. I think he about stretched it to its limit right there. A beautiful wheelie right up on the wheelie bar. Rode it out about as far down the track as he could go, and he set it down just in time because there's like a press booth over here off the side of the track. He was headed that way, but he did a nice job. Not going to take over the lead with that 14, but nothing to be ashamed of. He definitely gave the fans something to remember, and that move right there was simply awesome. More freestyle coming your way when we come back to Dragway 42.
Hey, welcome to Wild Man Adventures. We're at the Silver Lake Sand Dragway. There really wasn't any off-roading back then. It was all off-road. We're on our way to Lima, Ohio. Got wooden wheels.
Oh, it's slippery as all get out of.
Hey, we're here with Rich Cummins. Hey, we're here with Mike Potter. Hey, we're here with Alan Pizzo. Gotta check it out. This week we're gonna go down memory lane.
Jack Brown leads the field with a 20 in freestyle, and we are ready now to continue freestyle action with Maximus. Teammate of the Dozer, another machine out of Lafayette, Indiana, with Darren Basil at the wheel. This is going to be one of the last runs for this old Raptor body they've got on this trail. Look at that! About took out our end zone camera. Got a new body on the way for this machine. New concept body, and as well as a whole new identity actually for this chassis. Combos all the way back down the straightaway. Wild hit there. No wasted effort in this run. This is the best momentum we have seen so far. There is nothing left of that van over there, and that big green one doesn't want to go away. He almost got in big trouble. Quick cyclone to wrap it up, facing the fans over there under the summit tent. How about Darren Basil out of Conroe, Texas, driving the Indiana-based Maximus? Another DCT Power Sports teammate, as I mentioned. These guys all working the track here. They've had a rough day, damaging a lot of equipment, and it didn't come in freestyle. Freestyle seems to be pretty kind to them so far. Best trick in racing were disastrous for these guys, but Jack Brown ends up taking a win in racing. We'll see if this run hangs on for Darren Basil. Took a wild side hit right there, a 9, a 9, and an 8 for a 26. He will take over the lead with a fantastic effort. Up next, though, the Intimidator, Joe Sylvester, the Buckeye, the lone Buckeye in the field. The Ohio-based Bad Habit goes to work. Working this track in spectacular fashion with awesome momentum, using every ounce of that big Steve Vance horsepower in the back of the Jeep. So much low-end torque, the acceleration is just there when he needs it. And keep in mind, he's doing this with the rear steering toggle switch in his right hand. That's what he was looking for right there. Wild run going. It's had slap wheelie, the big air. He wants everyone to know Rife's not the only one who can do the slap wheelies, and Basil's not going to be the lone guy with the momentum. Even with those big cleat hater cuts, he gets that thing in the spin cycle. Joe Sylvester turning it up, and I have to believe if he didn't just tie Basil, he definitely took over the lead. Look at this hang time, and that is off the crush cars over there. The Jeep was flying here at Dragway 42. The fans on the hill getting their money's worth this afternoon. Again, that slap wheelie was awesome. Had he not been pointed at the outer boundary, he probably would have held that up longer, but he didn't want to come over the rail and into the nice lawn that's on this side. Look at that, taking the wheel off, going into the spin cycle. He's got the wheel in one hand and the rear steering toggle switch loose in the right hand, so he's on a different level right now. Look at that, all nines, a 27 for Joe Sylvester. Jumping into the lead right now by 1 point with one machine to go. It's none other than the Flying Dump Truck Dirt Crew. Jerry Beck out of Lafayette, Indiana. ready to try to knock down the Bad Habit Jeep. Hard hit for the big Ram dump truck out of Indiana. If Beck and the crew or any part of the GCT Power Sports crew are coming to an event near you, get your tickets and get out there. And you just saw why. That thing can take a licking and keep on ticking. That was one of the hardest hits we have seen here this afternoon, and on the sidewalls. Again. There was a time when a truck would not live through a landing like that, let alone be able to drive away. Now to drive away and continue rolling. What a hit for Jerry Beck. That has got to be the biggest hang time we have seen all day today. And Beck just setting the stage for his 2023 run on the Monster Truck Throwdown Tour. Trademark wild ride after the Sky Wheel. What does he have left? Ripping up the clay over there on the starting line into the track, and he is going to bring it to a stop. We will see what the score is. Remember, Joe Sylvester had the 27. And that move right there, that was rough, man. That would have ended a freestyle. Maybe even 5-6 years ago, you would not have seen a truck easily drive away from that. And this truck that was originally built in 1993, keep in mind, there's not much left of the original chassis. This thing's been gone through so many times and has a very different set of rear ends under it than it did back in the days when Gary Bauer and later Jay Snyder took to the wheel of it. Doesn't even look like the same truck. Very different cradle design and everything, but this is just incredible that this machine is able to drive away after a run like that. Look at that. He's going to come up just a little bit short. The win will go to Joe Sylvester, but Beck will pick up the overall. After all of that, so Joe Sylvester wins freestyle, Jerry Beck wins the overall. Of course, the Dirt Crew Dozer wins racing. And Beck, of course, picked up that best trick competition victory. Thank you for joining us for a wild afternoon of action. We will see you next time.